Hi, I'm Frankie. Today, I would like to provide you a short description of the 8 highly focused capabilities required to be a talent in an organization. Now, to be very specific, an employee cannot be considered as a talent if the employee or the staff does not have the 8 highly focused capabilities required to systematically manage critical knowledge to achieve consistent breakthrough performance. This is because there is a direct correlation between, on one side, systematically managing critical knowledge, and on the other side, achieving sustainable superior performance. This suggests that to be a talent, the staff must be highly self-driven, highly proactive to manage his own knowledge, to drive his own performance. In other words to say, if a person needs to be chased to get things done, the person cannot be considered as a talent. In actual fact, if a person needs to be chased, that person have little or no value for the department or for the organization. Henceforth, having a very clear understanding of the application of these 8 highly focused capabilities will obviously be extremely important to you, especially if you are having main concern relating to managing talents, developing talents, and building a talent pool. Now, what I'll do next is I will first provide you a short overview of these 8 highly focused capabilities required by a staff to be seen as or considered as a talent. And what I've done is I put it on the board at the back of me, and it goes like this. These are the 8 highly focused capabilities. Number 1, the talent must have the capability to carry out self-driven and proactive knowledge identification. Number 2, the talent must have the capability to pursue systematic knowledge acquisition. Number 3, the capability to implement immediate knowledge application. And number 4, the capability to promote active knowledge sharing. Number 5, initiate structured knowledge development. And number 6, the capability to facilitate constant knowledge innovation. And number 7, the capability to undertake well-defined knowledge preservation. And finally, the capability to conduct objective knowledge measurement. So at this point, what I will do next is I will provide you a short description of each one of these 8 key capabilities here. Starting with the first indicator here, it says the talent must first of all have the capability to carry out self-driven, proactive knowledge identification. The first item here. So what does it mean? It goes like this. When performance goal or key performance indicators are communicated to a talent, what the talent will do is, after receiving this performance goal or key performance indicators, he will then immediately ask himself 3 key questions. Question number 1, what is the knowledge required to achieve this performance goal? Question number 2, at this point of time, actually, what is my existing level of knowledge or knowledge level. And obviously, if you take what is required to minus my existing knowledge level, it will give me what I call as the knowledge gap. And therefore, this is precisely question number 3. That is, establishing my knowledge gap. Now in this context, as a talent, he must be very clear that if the knowledge gap is huge, then he knows that he will not be able to achieve the performance goal. But on the other hand, if the knowledge gap is very small, then he's very clear that he indeed has the adequate knowledge to enable him to achieve the performance goal. So essentially, the practice of self-driven, proactive knowledge identification assists the talent to directly establish objectively the knowledge gap, at the same time to identify the specific knowledge required to achieve or to address this specific knowledge gap. Now next, once the talent has the capability to define the gap, knowledge gap, in relation to the performance goal, the second highly focused capability that he must put in place is given as to pursue systematic knowledge acquisition. I take it here now. The second. What does it mean? It means this. It's no point knowing the existence of the knowledge gap, and yet I do nothing to address this knowledge gap. And therefore, the second capability is really about acquiring, importing relevant knowledge to close this specific knowledge gap, enabling me to consistently achieve my performance goal. Obviously, I can import, I can acquire relevant knowledge from multiple sources. For instance, I can acquire knowledge from 1. Subject matter experts in my organization, or number 2, from my supplier, my customers, even local authorities, or my co-workers, including acquiring knowledge from sources like knowledge portal, the internet, participating in external programs, or attending in-house programs. So knowledge acquisition is really about focusing on acquiring very specific, relevant knowledge to close the knowledge gap. That's number 2. Number 3. The third highly focused capability is what is to implement immediate knowledge application. Then again, even though I really focus on acquiring or importing knowledge, it's no point again having all this relevant knowledge, yet I do not put them into practice. So the third capability is really about focusing on immediate knowledge application. It is not how much a person knows that make him excellent. It is how much we apply that make the real difference. Henceforth, the talent must focus on intensity of application. It is the intensity of application that enable the talent to achieve the desired result consistently. That's number 3. Now it brings us to the fourth highly focused capability. And here it says to promote active knowledge sharing. As it begins to apply and achieve the desired results, what really happens is this. The talent now begin to see that he now, first of all, begin to translate lots of mistakes made into lessons learned. He begin to develop best practices. He begin to cultivate breakthrough solutions and innovative ideas. And so therefore, what the talent do now is, when it comes to the fourth capability, the talent's mindset now is this. Now, I want to focus on knowledge collaboration. I want to focus on challenging knowledge from my co-workers and encouraging them to challenge my knowledge. Because I'm aware the mindset, the habits of promoting knowledge collaboration will provide me the platform subsequently to pioneer innovation later. So henceforth, to make sharing work, the talent must have the capability to define and to establish what we call as practicing community or sharing communities. Now, when lots of sharing take place, what happens next? As we said just now, it will give rise to the promotion of knowledge, innovation. However, the talent will very quickly realize that even though he wants to actively promote knowledge sharing, he will soon realize that in his community, in his team, you will have certain members that somehow are not really engaging themselves in this knowledge sharing process. And therefore, what happens is this: the talent must have the next capability, and that is the capability that relates to initiating structured knowledge development. Now, what does this mean? It means this: to ensure that active, meaningful, and fruitful sharing can take place. All the members in this sharing community must have similar level of knowledge, similar entry level. And so therefore, knowledge development is ensuring that as a talent, I must have certain entry level. Likewise, the talent must also ensure that his team members have similar entry level. And so what happens is, when it comes to level number 5, the main focus of the talent is to what? Is to develop 3 main aspects of knowledge entry level. And that is, he must focus on enhancing his and the team members' conceptual ability, behavioral ability, and also, finally, technical ability. So, in conclusion, knowledge development is about ensuring that the practicing or sharing community reach what we call as a certain level of knowledge equilibrium to support effective and efficient knowledge sharing to take place. Now, next, what happens next is this: when a lot of knowledge sharing takes place, then it now propels us to the next focus, that is knowledge innovation. Now, in this context, what happens is this: the talent must have the capability to facilitate consistent, to facilitate constant knowledge innovation. What is knowledge innovation? Knowledge innovation is about having the passion to constantly focus on knowledge enrichment, knowledge enhancement by leveraging and capitalizing on the collective critical knowledge of all the members in the practicing community. So, in this particular context, the talent will now focus a lot, emphasize a lot on, firstly, knowledge aberration. Focus on challenging knowledge. The main idea is to ensure that he can consistently facilitate significant knowledge improvement. Now, when a lot of knowledge innovation take place, lots of ideas, lots of solutions are generated, then the talent must now have the capability to preserve all these innovative ideas, innovative solution, innovative best practices. And henceforth, we move on to number 7. That is, the talent must have the capability to undertake well-defined knowledge preservation. At this point, the talent's mindset is this: why do I need to preserve all these innovative ideas, solutions, and best practices? Because the talent now says to himself, I do not want to keep on going through the process of reinventing knowledge. So therefore, knowledge preservation is about focusing on retaining, on capturing knowledge so that I can reuse this critical knowledge, so that I can leverage on this knowledge as and when I want to. Henceforth, knowledge preservation is really about systematically organizing, systematically consolidating all the highly integrated or the highly fragmented knowledge that are flying everywhere. So I want to consolidate, I want to organize all this critical knowledge. And so what happens finally when I organize all this critical knowledge and put it either in explicit form, which would be in the form of sharing folders, for example, or can I put it in tacit form, which means depositing this critical knowledge in a team of people, all right, a team of practicing community members. Then finally, what happens is this: we come to the last highly focused capability, and that is the talent must have the ability to conduct objective knowledge measurement. Now, let me explain or provide some illustration on this. Through a period of time, the talent will now begin to compile X number of, for instance, lessons learned derived from mistakes made. So we say this: over the last 1 year, as a talent, I have developed, I have compiled 30 major lessons learned derived from mistakes I made. Or over a period of 1 year, I have developed, I have built for myself 40 best practices derived from some of my key achievements, etc. As a direct result of this captured areas of critical knowledge, what happens is this: I will now do a final correlationship. As a result, on one side, of increasing number of lessons learned, increasing number of best practices, what is the direct impact on my operational excellence? Essentially, it should go like this: as a result of having more lessons learned, more best practices, it will directly enable me to reduce the number of repeated mistakes, to reduce the cost of operation, therefore assisting me to enhance my operational excellence as a talent in that department. So in summary, it is extremely clear that for a person, a staff, to be considered as a talent, this person must have these 8 very fundamental, highly focused capabilities to manage his own critical knowledge, to drive his own performance consistently. In conclusion, now, if you are the head of company, or if you are the head of human capital, and your main concern is to recruit key talents. Secondly, to develop key talents. For instance, developing a talent pool. Or thirdly, to maintain, to retain your talents. Then I would strongly recommend you to participate in my half-day forum workshop entitled Initiating the Practice of Knowledge Management to Achieve Breakthrough Performance. Because in this half-day forum workshop, I will share with you and I will provide you a detailed description of all these 8 highly focused capabilities. At the same time, I also will analyze and highlight to you the application, the practical application of these 8 highly focused capabilities. Most important, for your information, I facilitate this forum workshop 52 times in a year, which means 52 intakes in a year. However, on the other hand, if you are not the head of company, you are not the head of human capital, but you are the head of a department, especially critical departments like the following. First, marketing, sales and customer service. Or secondly, production, operation and logistics. Thirdly, technical and engineering department, including critical support function like IT and finance. Of course, not forgetting project management. If you're the head of department of all these critical departments that I've so mentioned, and that your main concern is to drive your department and you nurture your departmental talent, then I strongly advise you to participate in my half-day forum workshop entitled Achieving Breakthrough Departmental Performance through the Practice of Knowledge Management. Because this forum workshop will provide you a platform and also offer you a highly structured approach to enable you, equip you with the capabilities required to nurture your departmental talent or to transform your existing employees to become self-driven, proactive departmental talents. And this definitely will benefit you. Because why? Because the creation and the eventual transformation of your staff to become talent will directly assist you as a head of department to achieve your departmental goals. Now, on my side, I facilitate this half-day forum workshop 30 times a year or 30 intakes. Finally, if you are not the head of company, you are also not the head of human capital. At the same time, you are also not the head of a department, but you are the key manager in your department. You are the key executive in your department, which means you are the potential talent. Then I would like to invite you to participate in my highly unique, highly differentiated one-day program entitled, given here, Developing the 8 Highly Focused Capabilities of a Talent. Now, in this context, this one-day program will cover all these 8 key modules. Most important, at the end of one day, on your end, you will be equipped with this highly focused capability to be a key talent for your organization. And I can assure you that this one-day program will be extremely meaningful for you. At the same time, it will definitely be a fruitful journey. And these 8 highly focused capabilities will certainly enable you to move yourself to the next level of excellence in this knowledge-based, innovation-driven economy. In short, it will significantly enhance the professional worth and professional value for your department as a key talent. Now, I facilitate this program 20 times a year or 20 intakes. So, I look forward to seeing you in one of my intakes in the near future. And most important, at this point of time, on my side over here, I want to highlight to you, in this very economy, this 8 highly focused capability that enable you to manage your critical knowledge here will propel you, provide a springboard for you to assure yourself of a highly fruitful career in your organization. And with this is Frankie signing off. And I will looking forward, of course, to see you in the very near future. And most important, cheers and bye-bye.